Hi, welcome to another session of SAP ABAP training, part 2. Today we are going to learn the SAP architecture and landscape and little bit overview and getting familiar with SAP screens. From the next class onwards we'll be learning ABAP programming, that you will be in the real technical developments. You will start all the developments from the next class. So please make sure to get installed if you have not yet done, so that you will be ready from the next class to develop your first ABAP development. Okay, now coming to the SAP architecture. So before starting the SAP architecture, let me explain you the basic terminology used in this SAP architecture. So if I say what is a service in general, think about a restaurant and you want to order something, and the waiter comes and you order some food, and waiter takes up the order and serves you the food. So what is the service here? You are requesting some food and the food is being served to you. That is a service. So now if you replace the same scene, that if you are requesting some data and the data is being served by some software component, then it is known as software service. So in this way you will understand it more clearly, that why this service is very important is the architecture, entire architecture is beginning from the service. When you understand this part of service, you will understand whole architecture. So now you know what is a service. So now we'll go to client and server part. What is the client? That means if you resemble the same thing with the hotel scene, then you will understand the person who is sitting and ordering the food. If you treat this as a software component, this is known as the client. The software component that uses the service is called as a client. Now assume that there are many clients sitting in the restaurant. Okay, then the waiter might be attending many clients at the same time. So if you treat this waiter as a software component, a component consisting of one process or a group of processes is called as a server for the respective client. If we are dividing it into three parts, okay, first one is where a computer requesting some information and some software component is doing the process to get the information, that is the part of the waiter, and the real data is residing somewhere on some computer, and that is known as another part. So these three parts, if you compare, the first part is known as the part where customer is sitting and requesting data is known as the presentation layer. Okay, this is the presentation part. The process, the waiter, the role of a waiter, that means a software component doing the process of either one client or group of processes. The waiter can serve more than one table, right? Similarly, one can handle many requests, but the order will be in a queue, like this he will take the order, the waiter will take the order, and in a queue the first one will be served first, and then there will be next person. Like that, this software component can also process many requests in a queue, and memory will be allocated accordingly. That means first one will be served first. In that case, memory will be first allocated for this process, and then once it is done, that memory allocation will be removed. That means rolled in and rolled out process. So once this is done, the next process will start. So that means we are reusing the memory allocation. Once it is done, a new memory will be allocated from, because now the old one is removed. So this is this processing where it is done, just think of the waiter. This is known as the application layer, where all the work process are being done, memory is being allocated, and the communication is also done. Like just think of the waiter, he is communicating with you, he is doing the process, everything. So all this part of the role of the waiter is being done like a application server. Okay, the next part where the real data is fetched, like the food is being prepared, that part is known as a database layer, where the real data is residing. Okay, now you imagine this hotel scene with three different layers. One is the application layer, one is the presentation layer, and the other one is the database layer. So what you have learned, first you have learned what is the service. Next, what you have understood now, what is the presentation layer, where the data is being requested. Then application layer, where the process is done, and the data from which the data is fetched is called as a database layer. So now you know three different layers. So now coming to the definition parts. This is only the concept. Now we will see what are the real definitions in terms of software components. So first one is service. So what you have understood by service, what you can say? Please pay attention and write down all the questions and answers, definitions, because at the end of this video I'll be going to ask you the questions and you must write down all the answers. Every question and answers that I'm going to ask at the end of the video will be very important if you are attending any interview. Okay, so please pay attention. So now, what is a service in SAP terminology? A service refers to something that is offered by a software component. Okay, what is a client? A software component that uses the service. This service might be offered by any software component, is called a client. And what is a server? Any software component that consists of one process or a group of process. Think of waiter. Okay, and it is called as a server for the respective service, that means respective client. Okay, so a client can also be sometimes a server. See, think of a customer sitting in a hotel. He might be a client here, but he might be a server in some other place. So this client can also, when it is requesting, it acts as a client. When it is giving some service, when it is sending back some information, then it is known as a server. So a client can both be a client and server depending on its role. Okay, so what is SAP system? The union of all the software components that are assigned to the same database is called as a SAP system. What are the different layers in SAP? Presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Okay, their architecture, you might have heard that the SAP has R3 architecture. We'll discuss everything. Okay, what is R1, what is R2, R3, and before that we must understand these terminologies. Now as you have understood what is a service, we will see everything in a different perspective. Okay, in terms of service, you also know that there are three layers: presentation, application, and database layers. Okay, so if you divide these layers in terms of service, so presentation layer, what service will be there in the presentation layer? There will be GUI service. That means the graphical user interface, where the data is being requested. Just imagine a simple computer where you are just requesting some data. So that is the screen that you are looking at is known as a presentation layer, and the service here is GUI. Okay, and then And then the application server. Here what are the different types of services that you see, think of the role of the waiter here. So it will be easy to correlate any scene, then you will understand it more clearly. So every time I'm repeating the same thing, see. So here application server has different services. What are the different services? You can note on all these things. I will ask you at the end of the video. Okay, it will have dialogue service. What is a dialogue service? Dialogue service means it provides a communication. See what waiter is doing, he is communicating between the client and the uh, database. I mean here the food where it is being prepared. Okay, so similarly dialogue service means the name itself says dialogue, so it provides communication between the presentation server and the application server. Okay, second one is the update service. What is update service? That means it will update. So it provides the interface between the application server and the database server. These two services are very important in the R3 architecture. See, don't forget, I will also explain what is R1, R2, R3. So this is very important before in starting these three architectures. So just remember, I mean understand the services here. Okay. There will be some more services in the application. What are the two services that you have learned now? Dialogue service and update service. Dialogue service means presentation and application layer. It is between these two and it is the communication part. Update means it is between the application and the database part. It will update the information. Okay, it provides the interface between the application and the database service. That's how you have to write. And then message service. What is message service? Sometimes you might get some errors. Sometimes suppose waiter has to tell that food is not available, or the it might take some more time. Similarly, the data might not be there, or combination of the data requested might have some errors, so you have to inform that to the client. So in the same way, these are known as the exceptions. So for exception management, this message service will be used. It is known as the error handling part. Okay, then spool service. What is this? Is a fourth one, fourth service, that is the spool service. What it will do? That means it can work with the external systems like spool. Spool means you just need to remember it is something about fax and printers. Sometimes you might need to print out some invoice or some things like that. So this spool service means something with the external system like fax and printers. And then gateway service. What is a gateway service? It means it is for the distributed SAP R3 environment. That you will understand later. For time being, just remember it is an example of RFC, BDC and BADIS. Okay, it is you will understand it when I start the real concepts of SAP. So this is known as a gateway service. Okay, that means communication between SAP and non-SAP systems or some enhancements. So after this gateway service, next one is NQ service. Okay, this is also very important. NQ means you always remember it is some kind of locking and unlocking. I think I might have already told you in the last class, but still I repeat it. Suppose if someone is requesting some information, I think I have already mentioned in my last one that suppose one sales executive is trying to sell the car. Okay, and some other sales executive is also trying to sell the same car. If no, you cannot sell the same car to two different customers, right? That then what you have to do, if someone is looking at this car or some data, it should be temporarily logged so that it should not be available for the other persons for time being. Once either the sale is completed or if it is cancelled, then it should be again available, or it should be shown as the data is that car is sold. So similarly, and this process of locking and unlocking is known as NQ service. Okay, NQ service provides the locking and unlocking of objects. And then next one is background job. So what is background service? Background service means it is a scheduling of jobs. Sometimes in SAP what you have to do, this also I think I have already discussed, but I will repeat it here. Background job scheduling means, if just think there are some reports that should run daily, it processes so many records, so much data, so it is always better to process in the night or some regularly at some time. So you don't need to do it manually, you can schedule a job so that it runs daily automatically. That means performing something automatically is done using scheduling. That is known as a background service. So what are the services that you have learned till now? In presentation server part, it is a SAP GUI service. Okay, in the application server part, what you have learned: dialog service, update service, message service, pull service, gateway service, NQ service, and the background service. And now coming to the database service, what you will see in database service, something related to database. That means it can store the data permanently in the database. In case if any one of this service in any of these three layers, we will not be able to work with the SAP R3. Okay, that means what is depending on SAP R3, what is very important is this R3 architecture in SAP. Okay, so now I will ask you some things and I will explain you. Remember carefully. Okay, what are the various work process of R3 system? What you have seen till now: one is the dialog or online work process. That means it can process only one request at a time. Next one is background. That means you can start any job at a specific time. What is update service or the work process? See here, these services whatever we are discussing in terms of application layer, these are all known as the work processes. Okay, so all the services that I have discussed for the application layer, they are known as the work processes. So what is the update service? It is the primary, it is primary or secondary, and it is between the application and the database layer. What is the NQ? It is a lock mechanism. What is a spool? It is something that is generated online or during some background processing for printing. Okay, what are the two services that are used to deal with communication? Can someone say? If you know, just type it here in the comments. I will see how many can answer. Just think and answer. And now verify. If you have, pause the video and write the answers in the comments, and now verify after coming back. The two services that are used for the communication are message service and gateway service. What is message service? It is used by the application servers to exchange some messages, internal messages, and all the system communications. What is the gateway service? It enables the communication between SAP, that is R3, and the external applications. So one important point, what is used to communicate between SAP R3 and external applications means it is a CPIC protocol. I will discuss what is CPIC. I mean, I will also inform you what is CPIC. You can note down it. What is CPIC? If someone asks you to expand, it is Common Program Interface Communication. Okay, CPI represents Common Program Interface and C represents communication. CPI hyphen C. What is the protocol that is used by SAP Gateway Process? It is a the SAP Gateway Process communicates with the clients based on the TCP/IP protocol. This is only for information. Okay, you might have already heard many times this TCP/IP. Okay, that is not much. Will not go in details. Just remember it is TCP/IP. Okay. I think I have already discussed what is SAP system. It is a union of all the software components that are assigned to the same database. If I say what are the different phases of background processing, what you will say, you must remember these three. Okay, first one is job scheduling, second one is job processing, and the third one is job overview. Just remember these terms. That means something which is used to schedule a task, that is a job, to automatically run. What is a dispatcher? Dispatcher will send the request to available background process for the processing. Now, if somebody asks you explain how this SAP GUI, what is GUI? It is graphical user interface. That is the screen that you are looking at, SAP screen. Okay. If somebody asks you how this GUI handles the output screens for the user, what you will answer? There will be front-end software, right? That is GUI. It can either run on the same computer or on different computers. Okay, that is the client part. It can see, if you compare this with suppose everyone is browsing Gmail, okay, from different computers. All the data will be on the Gmail server. That means throughout the world, so many people, you can access your Gmail account from anywhere in any part of the world, right? So different clients are sitting at different places and requesting the information from Gmail, the same account, and the data is being served from this. See, again here the database might have be installed on 2-3 systems. That server, database server, might be installed, but all these 3 systems, suppose 3 systems these are all database servers. So the person who is sitting and requesting the information from Gmail, like us, they are the clients. The system which is used to request the information is known as a client system, and the from data from where it is being fetched is known as a database, and in between process is known as the application part. So it is just similar to that one. So if I tell it technically, it will be like this. So that SAP front-end software can either run on the same computer or on different computers provided for that purpose. User terminal, where he is accessing the information, this terminal input is accepted by the SAP terminal program, that is SAP GUI, and it is converted to SAP proprietary format and sent to the SAP dispatcher. And then what happens? The dispatcher will coordinate the information exchanged between the SAP GUIs and the work process. Here you must remember the role of the waiter. The dispatcher then first places the processing request in request queues. See what the waiter will do. He will take the orders from different tables and he will process according to the order of the orders taken. Okay, similarly this dispatcher is now doing the role of the waiter. It first places a processing request in request queues, which it then processes accordingly. The dispatcher dispatches the request one after another to the available work processes. So here it will be allocated to the work processes. The actual processing takes place in the work process. So here the process will be taken care by the work processes. When the processing is complete, the result of a work process is returned by the dispatcher to the SAP GUI. That means here the waiter will fetch back the information to the client who have ordered. So here the client means I mean the customer who is requesting will be seen from the this SAP GUI. So the result of a work process is returned via the dispatcher to the SAP GUI. This SAP GUI interprets the received data and generates the output screen for the user. So this is how SAP GUI handles output screen for the user. In ABAP 4, what is the SQL that is used? It is the OpenSQL. And we have discussed that TCP/IP. Remember, what anybody knows what is the definition? What is the full form of this TCP/IP? If you know, please stop this video and comment it in the comment box. I would like to see how many of you know. Okay, no need that you must know it already. Just to it's my own interest. Okay, and then come back and check this next. I'm going to tell you. TCP/IP is a transmission control protocol. IP means internet protocol. And if I say isolated database servers, what do you think? What it could be? Server which is not accessible from the front end is known as the isolated database server. So now we have completed the most important terminology in the SAP R3 architecture. Okay, now we will see what is actually. I can just say R1, R2, R3 architecture and SAP is R3 architecture. That's it. But I want you to understand it completely. Some people who are in SAP might not understand what is this R3 architecture, what is presentation layer, application layer and database layer. No, but now you all have very good concept if you understand it properly. If I could have delivered you correctly, you all now know what is SAP R3 architecture. Okay, not R3 exactly, and now you will know what is R1, R2, R3. Till now you have understood what is database layer, presentation layer and application layer, right? See, now we will see R1, R2, R3. If I say SAP R3 architecture, that means R stands for real time and the number beside this R, 1, 2 or 3 represents the tier architecture. How many tiers are there? Like R1, R2, R3. If it is R1, it is 1 tier architecture. If it is R2, it is 2 tier, and if it is 3, it is 3 tier architecture. Present we are using R3 architecture. See, think that SAP R1 architecture means whatever we have discussed. Architecture is nothing but all these 3 layers. Okay, if this presentation layer, application layer and database layer, everything is on one computer. If all these 3 layers are in one, installed on one system or server, it is known as R1 architecture. See, that is the reason first I explained this architecture part. I mean these 3 layers. If you understand these 3, this definition part 1, R2, R3 is like child's play. Okay, R2 means, R1 means if all these 3 layers are installed in one system or the server. What is two-tier architecture? Now most of you might have already guessed it, right? If you guessed it correctly, please comment it and then come back and check. That means it is divided into two parts. Presentation will be on one server, application plus database will be on the other servers. That means it is divided into two parts. Then it is known as SAP R2 architecture. Now comes the R3 architecture. What is R3 architecture? Now you might all, I know every one of you might have understood what is R3 architecture. I'm sure. Yes, you are all right. It is presentation layer will be installed on one server, application will be on one server, and the database will be on one more server. That means all the three layers are installed in three separate systems or the servers. Then it is known as SAP R3 architecture. Okay, this part we have understood, right? What is R1, R2 and R3. But what is important is why SAP is following three-tier architecture. R3 architecture, it is following now R3 architecture. It has started from R1, later on it has changed to R2, and then now it has come to R3 architecture. But why? What is so special? Why it is following R3 architecture? If you can guess, if you have little bit analysis, if you make little bit analysis, you will understand it by yourself. But still, it's my duty to explain, so I am just trying to explain you why it is so important, R3 architecture. Okay, that we will discuss now. So to understand this concept of why R3 architecture is important in SAP and how it is going to help, let us understand it in this perspective. Just imagine one company, some X company, okay? Let us assume that there is a finance department, some sales department and some PP department, that is production department. Okay, so what you will do, there will be some payments part that is handled by FI department. That means you will receive some payments, that is accounts receivable, and you will pay some payments, that is accounts payable. So here if you see, there are two parts in FI. Let us assume that these two processes will have some workload. Okay, and then in production department, what happens in production departments? There will be new vendors. Okay, so vendor creations will be taken care in this production department, and what will be taken care in sales department? Some sales orders will be created, customers related information will be maintained, which order is given to which customer, how many orders are being taken. So all these things will be handled in the sales department. So if we understand this SAP R3 architecture for this above scenario for this company, so if you divide it each as a application, what we all have, some customer applications we have, some order applications we have, some payment related, that is accounts receivable application is there, our accounts payable application is there, and some vendor related application is also there. So if you want it to be have a high performance, so what you can do, you can divide these applications into different parts, like you just make this customer and order applications, that means something related to sales department, to one application server, and then this accounts receivable and accounts payable, these two parts of finance department, to one application server, and then do the remaining part related to vendor applications to one application server. So what is being done, you are reducing the load of each application by allocating separate servers for them. that is the same rule of this R3 architecture. So when you have three different servers maintained each for individual client, I mean individual presentation layer and application layer and database layer, the load will be reduced, so performance will be improved, so high performance will be there. Everyone is not so patient nowadays. Everybody want everything very instantly, so this data will be fetched very fast when each separate process will be done. Okay, so that is the reason for high performance R3 architecture is very important. If you observe, the main advantage for having each layer on different servers is load sharing. Here you can see this application layer can have many servers. That means the load will be shared, and the performance will be improved. If you observe, the main advantage for having each layer on different servers is load sharing. Here you can see this application layer can have many servers. That means the load will be shared, and the performance will be improved. So now we have covered everything about SAP R3 architecture, and you know all the terminology, definitions, everything related to architecture. Okay, now coming to landscape, SAP landscape, that is also today we will cover, and then we will see what are the different SAP screens to understand getting familiar with the SAP screens and just see. Okay, let's go to SAP landscape. So what is SAP system landscape? It is defined as the arrangement of SAP servers. Ideally there will be 3 system landscapes. Okay, the system landscape consists of a development server, a production server, and a quality server. So when you see this SAP, when you log on to SAP, you will understand. First, as a applications developer, SAP developer programmer, you will develop your developments, everything in the development server. Okay, once your developments are done, then you need to test if your developments are working properly or not. You cannot test directly on the production server. That means you will see in the hotel, when the food is being prepared, first it will be tasted if whether it is correct faulty test. So similarly here also, development is done, we will test it in the quality, for the quality. So that part will be in this. That means it will have same information as the production. It will have all the data similar to production. Here we will test everything. Once it is done, this quality test is done, when everything is perfect, then we will move it to the production server where the real information is seen. Okay, so we will have 3 parts in the system landscape. First one is the development part, where the developments are being done, and then it is tested in the quality server, and then once everything is okay, then it will go to production server. If it is not okay, we will develop further in the development server and move it to quality and check it once again until it is okay, and then when the quality assurance is done, then we will be moving it to the production. So only 3 parts: development server, production server, and the quality assurance servers, QS system. This is the SAP system landscape. That's it. Now I will show you the real SAP screens. We will see what is menu painter, everything. Okay, once you enter your username and password and enter to SAP system, For the first time when you enter, it will ask to change your password. So once you change and set your password, you will be navigated to the SAP screen. At the time of login, you can decide which environment you want to work in, the development server or the quality server or the production server. So first, as the developers, we will be logging into development server, that is the client. So each server will be allocated a different client. So now when you once you log in, you will be navigated to the SAP screen, where like this. Here the top part where you will see menu, edit, favorites, help, this part is known as a menu bar. Where you see the menu, it is known as a menu bar. Okay, and if you see just below that, you will be seeing all the different tools. Okay, these are known as the standard toolbar. This part is known as the standard toolbar. Okay, where now you can see SAP Easy Access, right? This is known as a title bar. You know the menu bar, standard toolbar. Now this is known as a title bar. And below this title bar, you will see some application toolbar. This is known as application toolbar. Here also you can see some tools, right? This is known as a application toolbar. And just beside this tick mark, you see some white box. Okay, this is known as a command bar. This is where you will be writing your transaction codes to go and start your work. So this is the part where we'll be using our first thing. This is known as a command bar. So this is all about SAP screens. Now from next class onwards, we'll be developing directly. Okay, so please make sure that SAP is installed in your system. And before concluding my today's session, I would like to ask you very important questions. So I'm just showing the questions here on my screen. Write down all the questions and please make sure that you answer everything. And these questions and answers you will find in my tutorial, today's tutorial. Okay, I have covered everything. And I wish you a very prosperous and happy time. Please be productive, make use of your time, and be healthy, stay safe. Thank you for the class and your time. I will be very happy if you can subscribe, share and like, and I will be very happy to see your comments, your views and suggestions, because everyone needs improvement. So your suggestions can make me improve further. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.